Today I'm going to be talking to you about an introduction to CoSpaces, and for grades 4 students about how to start your first CoSpace when designing your sustainable city. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is open up the CoSpaces app on your iPad. And then the first time that you come, you may need to log in with your Google email. And then you have different options along the bottom. You also have CoSpaces, and this is where you create your idea about your sustainable city. If you look in the gallery, there's also lots of wonderful ideas to look through here to get an idea of what's been made by other people. Ones by the CoSpaces team are the people who created this app, and so they've put together really interesting ideas about how you can view the CoSpaces. So that might be a great place to start to get some ideas. So when you go to your CoSpaces, you're going to want to tap on Create CoSpace. Okay, and either one of these is fine. I'm going to choose 3D environment because that allows me to build my own world. And then I'm left here with a blank CoSpace. So this little video icon shows us the direction that people will view our CoSpace when they first enter it. So I'm just gonna not worry about him for right now. I'm just gonna move him to the side. And you'll notice what's really nice on our CoSpace is that it's a grid, which helps us make all of our placements really accurate. I can zoom in or out just by pinching my fingers, moving in or out, okay? And the first thing that I'm gonna show you how to do is to make this CoSpace a little bit more interesting by giving it a setting. So I can do that at the bottom by tapping on environment. Okay, and then I'm going to tap 3D environment edit. And then that's where I can choose from one of these options. So I'm just going to select a plain green area. And you can see here I still have my grid. So this is my environment. If you go to mood over here, what that will do is just change it to night or day, or make it misty and cloudy and kind of mysterious. I'm just gonna choose sunny. So once I have my environment, I'm ready to start adding items to my city. So I'm just gonna zoom in again, and I'm gonna build it in this direction. So I keep that in mind when I place the camera later. But along here, you'll see that there's a library. Okay, and then these are the different objects that I can add to my environment, my CoSpace. And I can also just search here for different items. So if I wanted to search for a building, I can do that. And then there's all kinds of different interesting buildings that I might want to add to my city. So I like this one, the tall office building. So I'm just going to click and drag it in. Okay. Now, it's going to zoom out a bit. You can make this bigger or smaller by moving your fingers like this. Okay, if you tap it twice, it will give you lots of information. So if I decide I want this building to stay in one place, okay, I might lock it. If I decide I want more than one of these buildings, if I want, say, 6 of them, I can duplicate them. And what's really cool is the stuff up the top here. So if I click on material, that's where I can change the walls and the windows. So if I want the walls to be gray, or if I want them to be blue, I can change that here, as well as the colors of the windows. I can also change the opacity, which is how see-through my buildings are here, which is really great. If you insert a person, for example, so if I bring this girl in here, you'll notice that she's quite small, because she's proportionate to the size of the building. Okay, and if I move up close to her, same thing, if I double tap on her, you get lots of different options. And you'll notice there's slightly more options for people characters or animal characters than there are for buildings. For example, if I tap on animation, then I can change her reactions, or I can change her actions. I can have her wave. Okay, same thing, I can change the way that she looks in material, I can change her hair, her shirt, all of that. So once I've manage all this, I can also add speech to have her say something. Okay, so she can either think it or say it, which might be kind of cool. When would you have someone say something versus think something is interesting to think about. So you have all those options. So I encourage you to double click on any of the things that you add into your city. So the next thing that you can also do, if you go back to the library, we're already in the library. If you go to building, okay, there's lots of shapes down here, which are really helpful. And one of them is the text. So if I click and drag this in here, I have a nice little sign and I can pull it like this to resize it. Okay, make it taller or wider. So if I place the text in there and then I double tap on it and I tap text, then I should be able to write the information in here. And I can see that that shows up on my sign there. Okay, so you can use text to also add additional information as well. So the next thing that you can do that's kind of cool is along here if you tap on upload. So let's say I'm looking for an object and I can't find it. I can also search 3D models, which are taken from Google. Search for a tree. Okay, then I can bring this tree in to my space. It's just thinking, but it will show up there after. So that's another great option to bring in other 3D models from Google that you can also use in your CoSpace. You can also add video files. So you can upload any videos that you have on your iPad and add them to your CoSpace. You want to make sure that they're not too big, however, otherwise they'll have more difficulty playing. So if you have a short little introduction video or you want people to view something as they come into your city, you can add that there. The last two things I want to show you today is how to add multiple scenes to your CoSpace and how to code some of your objects that you've placed in your city to make it a more interactive experience. So let's say you wanted to show different parts of your city. So for example, you wanted to show a large park in one part, in another part you wanted to show the office buildings in the downtown. Maybe you have a residential area and you want to be really detailed in each part of your city. If you press on the left hand side the media, and then you see here it says new scene. If you tap that, it will give you a new slide or area to create in. And you get rid of it by just tapping the media again. The next thing that you can do with the code or coding is if you tap this code button up at the top, okay, it'll bring up CoBlocks. If you are really advanced, you can use other types of programming language, but CoBlocks is block coding, which is the level that most of grades 2 through 5 students are at. So what you'll notice here is when play is clicked, so when someone views my CoSpace, and then I have when casual girl, so that's my casual girl character is clicked, casual girl will say hi. Okay, so on the left hand side, you have all kinds of different blocks that you can play around with and you can control to make your characters or your city or your items do different actions while someone's viewing your scene. So I get rid of the blocks just by pressing here, and then to view my CoSpace I would just press play, but mine's not quite finished yet, so I'm going to hold off on that for now. If you want to share your CoSpace with another person, you just press the share button. You just press share link, and then this code will come up, so you can share it with a link or a QR code, or someone can type in this code to access your CoSpace. Okay, the way that you access someone else's CoSpace, if you go back to home, and then you'll see up here at the top right, there's something that with a little finger and 3 dots, you tap that, and then this is where you enter someone else's code to be able to access their CoSpace.